and listed company Britam Holdings has officially launched its operations in Tanzania following the successful integration of real insurance company with the Britam Group in Kenya. The official launch of Britam Insurance Tanzania is part of Britam Group's overall strategy of expanding its general insurance business and widening its footprint in Eastern and Southern Africa, and also tapping into the unsecured segments of the population. Recent statistics place insurance penetration in Tanzania at less than 1% of the country's gross domestic product, well below the level of most advanced nations and many African countries. Britam, with its entry into Tanzania, aims to bridge this divide by providing innovative and unique insurance solutions that meet the needs of Tanzanians. All right, so South Africa has eased the visa requirements for Kenyan business people and, of course, students. And this is in a move that is expected to make it easier for Kenyan students and business people to make their way to South Africa. And South Africa's High Commission said on Tuesday that Kenya and South Africa had agreed to extend a 10-year multiple visa entry into South Africa for Kenyan business people and academics. Kenyan students studying in South Africa will be offered a long-term visa which will be aligned to their course of study, and those who are completing their high school studies in South Africa will be offered a long-term visa to facilitate their transition into South Africa without any bureaucracy or rather bureaucratic hindrances. Part of the agreement is also for the two countries to start a joint program to stop human trafficking from the Horn of Africa through East Africa. And joining us now to further enlighten us more about these relaxed visa requirements is the South African High Commissioner, that is Ambassador Koleka Mkulwana. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for inviting us.
Well, tell us more about these relaxed visa requirements. Does it only apply to business people and students, or just about everybody?
Yes, thank you very much for inviting us, and thank you very much for the warm welcome which was extended by Kenyan government to my minister. And I really want to take each and everyone to understand that all of us, I'm sure, we are really happy with the developments. Mm-hmm. And I guess that it is also important that I emphasize that in terms of the issue of immigration, I think at some stage we were misunderstood as a country. Mm-hmm. I must be upfront. One, why I'm saying that is because on there was some allegations that South Africa is charging visa for Kenyans, mm-hmm. which was not the case. It was a management fee that is asked by our service provider, mm-hmm. and I guess that I should welcome the fact that my government have negotiated with the service provider that they must reduce that from between $70 to $49, which is, we welcome that. Let me go through the categories.
Yes.
Now, one, let's start with business. Mm-hmm. Business people, as from yesterday, who are doing business together with academics, who are doing business in South Africa, they need to queue on my office and apply for 10-year visa. Then the second category is for family members who are having children that are studying in South Africa. Mm-hmm. They would qualify for 1 year or 2 year visa. They should come to us. And students, mm-hmm. There was an issue of a Kenyan student doing in primary school, high school, that needs to exit to a university.
Right.
They needed to, and the minister was very clear. As long as you are still a student, you are vetted once, then there's no need for applying. If you've been our student, why when you are going to a new university need another visa? So in that area, if you have studied in our institution, then throughout high school, then university, you will renew your visa in South Africa.
Right.
And I think additional to that is the critical skills. If you're a Kenyan student, being in that category of critical skills, let's assume that you are a doctor that wants to go in South Africa. We are able to give you a visa for a critical skill, and while 1 year, while you are there looking for a job, then automatically you get a job. Then ultimately, if you so wish to apply for PR, we can do that.
Okay.
And I think that is important.
So sometime in 2015, South Africa had really come up with very stringent, or do we say tough, visa requirements. And that in a way has affected tourism in South Africa. Is it getting any better in 2016?
That statement, it's not proven by facts in terms of the statistics that we are having.
Well, it is. According to statistics from Reuters, they say the tourism numbers had gone down after the visa requirements were revisited and made tougher by the South African government.
Now, that's contrary to what we have.
What do you have?
Our view is that the issue was around, our government is having a responsibility under our constitution to protect children. Not only South African children, but children of visitors that are coming to us. We have to be clear that it is our obligation to make sure that children who are from South Africa and children who are from outside South Africa get into our territory. We must be sure. And I guess that the confusion was there where we were asking for an unabridged certificate for us to confirm that you are a friend to the parents of this child. Then when you are getting into the country, then there was that confusion in terms of that. And I guess that when we're looking at our figures are telling something totally different to what we're saying. But I think that the minister on that, he still feels very strongly that as a country we do have a responsibility.
Well,
but I think that he's also working on having a new IDs for children. So in that new ID for children, the smart card for children, that will mention who their mother and the parents are. So, and I really think that one, my country must not be moved, because really, when it comes to child trafficking, when it comes to our children, issues of pornography on our children, that I think as African people we have to be united.
Right.
That we must be sure that we protect our children for the benefit of the future.
All right, so the South African economy, according to IMF figures, again, they say that the South African economy has slowed down. In fact, in 2015, it only grew by about 0.9%. How is the whole, new visa requirements for any other nationals except South Africans working for the economy, knowing that it has slowed down the past 2 years?
I don't really think. I think there are other factors that have affected.
Yeah.
There are other factors that we are not we're not really the only country. If you're looking at emerging economies, they are also affected. Other external forces have affected our economy, like Russia is affected, like Brazil is affected. But really,
But the visa requirements, toughening the visa requirements is making it even worse for anybody to go to South Africa
I don't
right
really
now.
share that sentiment. I think that it is important that we are here now trying to move forward. When on my arrival here, as I am on the second interview, I indicated very clear that I think that one of the things that have created tensions between Kenyans and South Africa on the issue of immigration is that we should take responsibility that we didn't communicate these reviews properly. So it created a lot of confusion. And really any transition comes with anxiety.
Right.
And the other challenge is that we spend about 5 months without at that particular time, just after the reviews, without having a head of mission, which it is my responsibility, but I was still outside Kenya to come and explain the reviews and the purpose of the reviews.
All right.
And in the past 8 months, 10 months, I've worked on it to make sure that at the end, the minister can come and sign for it.
Okay.
And I do appreciate the fact that interior officials headed by the general and ourselves from the South African delegation who have worked for it, and unfortunately, that has passed. What is important is how do we go forward and communicate so that ordinary Kenyan can be able to understand, because what is important is ordinary business people, students who want to go to South Africa because we offer 7 top universities in the continent. They are in South Africa. There are families, there are Kenyans who wants to go and shop in South Africa. That's what I'm interested in.
Right.
And the last one is the fact that the minister have agreed with the Minister of Interior here that we are looking at waiving visa for government officials.
Right.
It's what excites me going forward, and I'm here to serve the Kenyans moving forward.
Okay, my final question to you is, what opportunities are there for Kenyans in South Africa?
Look, there are a lot of opportunities, not only in South Africa.
Right.
We are in a continent which is having about 54 countries. Opportunity for African people, irrespective of whether they are coming from. Africa is the next one.
But
So
specifically looking
Kenyans
at
in
South
particular,
Africa, yeah.
you know, if you look at my view about Kenyans, they're big in business.
Yeah.
And I think that, especially in small business, that is the opportunity that South Africans will never leave it. In fact, I'm working towards having the Minister of Small Business to come and to interact with the minister, because that is important. The other thing is that the skills Kenyans that we might be running short of, we need Kenyans to come and take that opportunity, because we've got skills shortage, and I think that if we are having Kenyans who are having those skills, they can bridge that gap that we are having. There are a lot of young people, and I know that you are very strong on ITC. Kenyans, they've got a very big role to play, not only in South Africa, but Kenya is a hub in this region.
Right.
And I think that South Africa is also a hub in the SADC, Nigeria in the west. These two countries are having a responsibility to make sure that what we have, we keep it in the continent.
All right.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Ambassador Koleka Mkulwana, who is the South African High Commissioner. Thank you so much
It's
for
my pleasure.
speaking to